This tutorial, we're going to learn how to practice scales. Okay, so in some of your agendas, you might have something that says this: scales, D minor harmonic, practice until 5 times perfect each hand. So you can use any scale, it doesn't have to be D minor harmonic. And maybe I wrote down in your book you should do it 4 times perfect or 7 times perfect each hand. So we're just going to use this as an example, okay? Now, before you play any scale or practice any scale, you should think about the sharps or the flats that you have. So let's say we're going to do D minor harmonic. So I should be thinking, oh, I'm going to play this B flat with finger 3 in the left hand and finger 2 on C sharp on the left hand. So you should be thinking about this so that you don't forget and you don't hit a wrong note. Okay? So we're going to start to metronome at 60 beats per minute. So this is a good starting tempo. And you might have a different tempo in your book, but just follow whatever is in your book. For this example, we're just going to use 60 beats per minute. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the metronome and I'm going to start. But before I start, I'm going to count 2 measures in my head. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'll play the scale 2 octaves. As you can see, my fingers are nice and relaxed as I'm playing the scale. Right? So your fingers should be relaxed and not tense like this. This is really tense. So they're down like this. Okay? Now, if you played the scale perfectly, you can keep a tally of your scales on a piece of paper. So I'm going to write down, okay, now I did it 1 time perfect. Okay? So I got to put 1 tally. Now, if I did it perfectly at that speed, then I'm going to do it at 70, or I'm going to go up by 10. Okay? So I'm going to go up to 70 beats per minute, and I'm going to play the scale again. So, oh, but before I start, I should think about the flats and the sharps that I have. I should always be thinking about that. So I'm going to be playing B flat and C sharp. Okay, so I have that in my head. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I played a wrong note. So if you do play a wrong note, that's okay. But that just means that won't count as one of your tallies, okay? Because we wrote there 5 times perfectly each hand. Now that is possible if you play it at a slow enough tempo, okay? So I'm going to start again. I'm going to think about the flats that I have, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on, okay? So now I put another tally, so my tally's up to 2, okay? Now I increase the speed again to 80, okay? And you would do this for every speed. So we're starting at 60, and we're going to do the scale all the way up to 110, okay? So if you made a mistake, then practice it again, and I know that you'll get it after a few times, okay? But after we do it at 5 different speeds, then that means we can move on to the next thing that you have to practice. So as a summary, we're going to play it 1 time perfect, 1 time perfect at 60, 1 time perfect at 70, 1 time perfect, I'll just write for short, so 1 time perfect at 90, and then 1 time perfect at 100, okay? Now, if you want to challenge yourself and you can play it already at 60 and 70 tempos perfectly, then the next day you can start at 80, okay? And the next day, how the next day of practice will look like, so let's say this is today, then tomorrow, let's say that you do this. Okay, so tomorrow, let's say you do this. Let's say you do it 1 time perfectly at 80, and then 1 time perfectly at 90, and so on, okay? Now, if you can't do it at these tempos, that's okay. Just practice it until you can do it that 1 time perfectly at that tempo, Okay, so that's what I mean by 5 times perfectly for each hand. And you would do this for both the left hand and the right hand. Okay, you can do it 5 times perfectly in the right hand, then 5 times perfectly in the left hand. And that would give you a check mark for your scales. So in the next video, we're going to do practicing for chords.